close your eyes and allow your body to sink deeply, deeply into your chair. And just relax. Let all of your cares of the day, all of the running around you did to get here, all of the joy and excitement of being here with all of those we love, just settle in. Just let it settle in so that your mind becomes clear. And let my words be your words. Just take a deep breath in and let it out. And we'll do it again. And as we do, say to yourself, peace, be still, and know that I am God. Breathe in peace. Be still. Be still and know that I am God. We know that we are resting deep in the presence of the beloved Most High. Peace, be still, and know that I am God. And imagine, if you will, a blanket of still peace just simply descending down upon all of us, each of us, like a cloud. It is said that God will come in like a cloud, come in on a cloud. Let a heavenly cloud just descend upon us and blanket us with light, love, healing energy. And let that energy that moves through all time, all space, move into our secret place of the Most High and fill us with grace, peace, and a profound awareness that we are sitting in the presence of God within us. We are resting in it. If you could just focus your awareness to the space in your chest where your heart is, your human heart. And know that in this space is also the opening of divine love, the heart of God. Our master teacher called it the eternal flame of the sacred heart of Christ, of God's love. Just feel this love flickering inside. Just feel it. Place your attention on this love. Imagine now all the times in recent days you were in this presence. Whether you were witnessing the beautiful double rainbow that graced our skies on Friday evening, or perhaps you felt God's presence in the words of the song and in the joy we experienced together just a few moments ago. Perhaps you had your own personal little God shot, something that happened that just tweaked everything and made it beautiful for you, made everything all right, made everything easy and effortless. Maybe you've experienced a big miracle or even a small miracle. How awesome is God? As we think about all of this vast power of God, these simple ways in our daily lives, and even greater ways that we witness in the world, we fuel our flame. We fuel it. We ignite it. And we store up this energy of God in our solar panel. The energy storage of our soul's essence, our own internal solar panel. That source of God housed within us. Some call it the seat of the soul. Just rest in the presence of this eternal flame of divine love. Rest for a moment. Focus on it. Fan that flame with love. And I'll return for you in just a moment. And now, with the eternal flame of the Sacred Heart of Christ, flickering and growing and glowing inside, just rest in that feeling and let it stay with you for the rest of our service, the rest of this day, indeed, the rest of your life and on into eternity. And you can just gently, gently start bringing yourself back into the room. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And so it is.
She was born and raised Catholic, and this foundation of faith wove through her life from an early age. She has been on the path of New Thought spirituality for decades, and initially became a member of Unity of Louisville in 1988. For the past 10 years, she has journeyed to Hawaii twice a year for intensive classes and practice of ancient Hawaiian spirituality called Huna. Jane is an initiate in Hawaiian shamanism. Some of her books and CDs are available in our bookstore. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Donna. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to start off with my favorite saying. Oh, how good it is to be here. Isn't it great this morning? We're all together. We're going to have some great fried chicken, I hope. I'm not sure. But we're going to have a lot of good food. We're going to get to enjoy one another. It's lovely. There was something happened recently that kind of traveled around the world. And I want to kind of introduce my topic today with this because it was really powerful. How many of you all saw the recent royal wedding? Okay, all right. Mostly women, right? Yeah, okay. For those of you who didn't, I'm going to fill you in what happened there. I had set the royal wedding to record, and I thought, well, I'll later at some point check out what Meghan's dress looked like, right? Because I'm not that big into all this froofiness, but I thought, well, I might want to see a little bit of it. So I ended up that morning, I got up really early. And I thought, oh, let me go turn this on. Just have it playing in the background or something. And when I flipped the switch on the TV, here she comes walking in the aisle. So I got to catch this event. And it wasn't just a wedding. For any of you who saw that, you realize this, okay? There was a presence of love. It was so palpable that it jumped through the transmission airwaves of however they funnel this around the world, this frequency, and landed in our living rooms. And we felt it, right? How many of you felt it? Okay. There were all kinds of levels of love there. There was that tremendous romantic love that was just jumping off of the bride and groom, okay? And that, of course, we know is romantic love or marital love. There was the love you could feel of Megan's mother sitting there, and it was housed in a state of pure grace. And you could see that grace and love directed to her daughter. And you saw that parental love and felt it. I felt it. Oh, but there was a bigger love there. There was what we call agape love, that love of God. God is love. The column of love of the Creator was coming down in and through and pouring out of Bishop Michael Curry. Did anyone see that and feel that? He spoke for 20 minutes on love, and he went way over time. He spoke with such passion and such conviction and such faith that we all felt it. I was buoyed by it for days. And he said, and I'm going to quote this, if humanity ever captures the energy of love, it will be the second time in history that we have discovered fire. What was he talking about? Well, the first time when humanity discovered fire, you know, this helped caveman do a lot of things, right? What do we know about fire? That everything it touches, it absolutely transforms and makes into something else, right? Usually returns it to the nothingness from which it came. But there was another human being who captured the energy of love and used it in this transformative power, the power that Bishop Michael Curry referred to. And that is, of course, our master teacher, Christ. What did he do? He transformed through the power of love by going to God. He transformed water into wine, sickness into health. We have used the same power to turn poverty into richness, stress into peace, and so on, right? So that is how this transformation starts, is by harnessing, capturing this power of love. Now, why should we be so surprised that these things would be possible? Well, think about it. Do we not capture the power of water through hydroelectric plants? Right? And don't we capture the power of wind, as they have been doing for a long time, through windmills? And now we have these large wind turbines where they're capturing the wind power and storing it up to be used. And certainly now we have solar power that we tap into the power of the sun, we store it up, and in all these instances of capturing this power, we simply plug in anything we want, and it will non-discriminately comply and empower whatever it is, whatever we've plugged it into, right? Okay, so this type of use of the air, the sun, the water would have been stunning to probably my great-grandparents, okay? And think back through the millennia of humanity. But we look at it and said, no, it's fine. It's not a miracle. This is what happens, all right? So how do we then harness this inner fire, this inner flame of love? How do we capture that and discover, as Bishop Michael Curry talked about, this capacity, this eternal capacity that we each have to produce any and everything that we want in our lives? This is what I'm going to talk about today. You know, we weren't left with just a dull concept and not knowing how to figure it out. No. Every one of us came, when we came out of the birth canal, a little flicker of light went on, and our little pilot light in our hearts came on, right? So we have this right inside. And I don't believe that our Creator intended us to come out into this world with this little pilot light, just like any other appliance we might use. It came with an instruction manual, right? So what are these instructions? Well, for a while, humanity couldn't get it. And so we were sent teachers the teacher that we follow was Christ, of course. So here are the instructions. His entire life and mission was to give us instruction on how to do this. So it's simple, really simple. Of course, I've got to be able to see it. Okay. Here they are. This is from John 14:12. Very truly I tell you, whoever believes in me on my name will do the works I've been doing, and they will do even greater things than these, because I go to the Father, God. And when questioned about being the only one who could do these miracles, Jesus responded, I said you are gods. You are all sons and daughters of the Most High. You do these works by going to the Father, God. Now let's break this down. What did he mean by, if you do these things in my name? All right? There is one of the foremost experts in translating straight from the Near Eastern dialect of Aramaic, Rocco Errico. It's a beautiful translation from that direct to modern-day English, without all the stopovers that went through Greek and Roman. Okay, so there was a lot of slang in Near Eastern Aramaic, just as we have slang. But when they said, do it in the name of, it meant do it the way, let's say someone was an architect or a builder, let's call him Bob. And Bob builds great houses, and he has a certain sequence of ways he builds these houses, all right? And so if someone in ancient Jerusalem or in that area were to build a house, they would say, oh, do it in the name of Bob, okay? Do it like Bob does it. That's what it meant, do it in the name of. It did not mean, for instance, let's take Einstein. All right, Einstein discovered all of these great mathematical formulas, and all scientists to these days use them. They use them to split the atom. So they follow the sequence, and they follow the formulas, and voila, the atom splits. They don't sit at the microscope with the atom underneath of it and say, in the name of Einstein, split. No, it doesn't work like that. So the first breakdown is doing in the name of means how it was done. So that's the first part. And the second part of the instruction was, are you ready for this? It's really, really easy to build our internal, I'm thinking back to the future, our flux capacitor, our internal capacitor to build this wonderful ability to capture the power of love. And here's what Jesus said to do. He said to go to the Father and to ask believing. Now, let's think about this. As Christ, we know, spoke in loads of metaphors. And when he was speaking about the Father, what he was trying to convey is this energy of love was the same as, he was trying to explain that it was like a father or a parent who really loved their child, who wanted to dote on them and give them everything and make life easy for them. All right? Go to the Father. In fact, Abba, Abba, he said. Go to the Father. Abba, love, love. And he was working to convey that. But he also went on to say, Beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God, and whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. Anyone who does not love does not know God, because God is love. So that's easy, isn't it? Not some gray-haired father figure sitting up there on a throne, probably a cloud with one of those Neptune fork spear things, I don't know. It's love. It's love. And where is this? In the kingdom of heaven. And where is the kingdom of heaven? Whoop, right in here. All right? So if we are going to build and generate this power center and build it up so we can call on it, we have to then go inside, don't we? We have to go inside and build it up. So we have the instruction, and that is to go to the Father and to ask believing. But before we can ask, we have to have power. Before we can plug into the wall, we've got to have power coming in there, right? We just bought a new RV. Can you imagine that? And it does come with, it doesn't have a solar panel on it, but we can have a solar panel on there as long as there's sunlight. bam, it's full. You can plug anything in. You're good to go. But it runs down. You have to build it back up. And so our inner reservoir of this love energy that we can transform anything in our lives to, it runs down too, doesn't it? Because what does a cloudy day look like? A cloudy day looks like I'm focusing on stuff I'm not supposed to be focusing on, and I'm not filling up my reservoir of love. So we have to go inside and fill this up and build this up and think about God and think about the beauty of earth and focus on things that we want and not want in order for it to be there when we go to tap into it. But I had, and I say it's like charging our solar panel, our SOUL solar panel. It's interesting because it is said that if you can get to where your thinking is 51% of the time focused on God and on good, then you're there. You've got it. And I've had pockets of time in my life where I actually was so absorbed in it, I had it. But then, I lost it because I didn't stay on it. That's how it goes. Back and forth, back and forth. I was in meditation this week, and my higher power said to me, because sometimes I do get stuff. Other days, nothing for months, and then boom. And this is what I got. Jane, would it be possible for you to obsess about me the way you obsess about your relationships, the way you obsess about other people, the way you obsess about work, the way you obsess about money, the way you obsess about fear, and on and on? Or I did hear the word about the president. I had to just, that one got me. Because for me, those things are soul draining forces. It's like my whole reservoir just gets, somebody pulls a plug out of the bottom and out it goes. So I'm like, okay, I get it. I hear what you're saying. All right. So that means when I get hooked into that, to turn away from it, just keep going back to God. Go, return my thoughts to God, return my thoughts to God, return my thoughts to God, because it's all there is. So I just wanted to share that with you. It was really funny, kind of, sort of. But, and so the second part of the equation, he said, in order to capture this power of love and have this transformative, miracle-producing power that we all were born with, we go to the Father, build our reservoir up. And the second thing we do is we ask believing. How easy is this, right? We ask believing, and what does that mean? I think with my thoughts and with my feelings. My feelings are where it's at on making this happen. I pour this energy of love all over it, picturing what I desire as if it already is, sensing it, smelling it, feeling it, living it, walking it, breathing it. And when I'm finished with that, I just say, thank you so much. And then walk away and wait. Because this or something greater will come to pass. It is spiritual law. And whether we know it or not, we're going around creating day in and day out with our thoughts and our feelings. So why not, take that few extra minutes a day to make it happen? I was working with some of these meditation principles with a group a couple of weeks ago, and they were giving me all the reasons why they couldn't meditate in the morning, which I think that it's essential. I got to go in and I got to make a connection to the higher power, and I've got to fill that energy tank, or I'm just better not leave the house, because it's not going to be good for anybody around me at all. Right, Norman? So they were saying all the reasons why, and I was like, okay, and this image came to me. I said, all right, let's pretend, because everybody's in a hurry to get out the door. You run around, you got to do this, got to get here at this time, blah, 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 blah. You run out, you get in your car, and you open your garage door, and then you start pedaling your feet, like a Fred Flintstone car, and move it backwards, and you go run through your life, running. I got to do it, I got to push it, I got to move it. If it will be, it's up to me, and all that kind of nonsense, right? Wearing yourself out, running yourself ragged, running on self-will, self-power, human power. But what if instead we stopped First thing, took 10 lousy minutes. What's 10 minutes? Nothing. To sit in the presence of God. Sit in the presence of God. Tune the dial in to WGOD so that we can be connected to that station in those airwaves all day long. And now we go about our morning in peace. We walk out into our garage and we get into, instead of a Flintstone type car, one of those little Jetson cars. Everybody remember the Jetsons? Okay, they had those little flying, self-propelled cars. They sat in it, and we have a guidance system that tells us where to go. We just kind of fly above it all in peace. And anyone who practices this for a long time, you all already know that what I'm alluding to is not fantasy at all. It's real. We've lived it. We've been there. And when I fall off and go over in a ditch, or fall off the path, and I'm in a ditch and I'm back in, Flintstone world, I'm like, what happened? Well, I know what happened. I didn't do that simple process. Okay. So, there's the secret. Easy. That's how we capture the power of love, so that we can rediscover fire for the second time, but in a new way. We go to God and we ask believing and say, thank you, thank you. So, the other super bonus is, once we go to God and we capture all this love and we're going about our day, what happens? It slips out of us, doesn't it? It seeps out. It spreads out. It goes on. It goes on and on. It reaches just as far as Bishop Michael Curry's love reached. It might have been on television, but if TV can pass love waves like that, I can promise you that we can. And it does. So it's a bonus for us and a bonus for others. We are the answer. Love is the answer. And it's right inside of us. This is how we can have civic responsibility. It's to stay in love. I'm going to read a little passage here. When we turn from our little, narrow, selfish ways and become what love made us to be, we shall find that we truly are what Jesus tried to make us see we are. We are the immortal children of love, living the perfect world love has made, not an ugly world of pain and lack and death, no, but a beautiful world of life and peace and plenty. This is the world of love. And God is love. And I believe you believe this as much as I do. What a world this will be when we begin to live by this belief, for we will have discovered fire for the second time in human history. And so, I want you to focus on this, to let love reign. Let love reign for now and forevermore. For peace is her sister and joy is her child. And in all things, just be love. Thank you.